Dude, I should have put money on safeties.
Well, that was something.
It happened.
It happened.
It occurred.
It did happen.
It happened. Hopefully you're watching along with us. This is Boomer Busted Draft Show, Round 1 recap. Max Chadwick alongside PJ Clark, Tate Sigworth, and Nick Merriam. Again, we appreciate all you guys who are watching with us. If you didn't watch tonight, you can still watch tomorrow night for round 2 and 3.
Or not even tomorrow night, the day you're watching
Oh, the
this,
day. Actually, no, I'm sorry. Tonight we're recording this literally right after the draft.
Yes.
So guys, a lot of shocking picks, good and bad. So how we're gonna do this? Our top 5 best picks, our top 5 worst picks, and our top 5 players still available on day 2. So Nick, let's start with you. Your top 5 best picks from tonight.
We want to go from 5 to 1 or 1 to 5?
5 to 1.
5 to 1. All right, number 5. Kadarius Toney. Don't like saying good job to a division rival, but the Giants traded back. They got his first-round pick next year because they couldn't get Devontae Smith because the Eagles hopped him. And I thought it was good value to get that extra first next year, which is always excellent, and still get a receiver at a valuable pick there at 20. Thought that was great. 4. This was a tough one to be this low for me, but Penei Sewell was great for the Lions to just sit there and have, in my opinion, the third best player in the draft just fall right to them, take him, and just get a franchise piece on that left side of the offensive line, and that's great. I think they'll kick Taylor Decker over to the right side there, and they'll be good there. 3, Rashad Bateman, 11th player on the board for me. I had him as a blue chip player. I think he's great. I don't know why he fell to 27. Apparently the league doesn't agree with me, but he did fall to 27. And Baltimore, whose biggest need was receiver, specifically an outside guy, maybe a more physical guy who could run a full route tree, and they got just that in Rashad Bateman. Huge for them to get him at 27, and I think it was smart of them to take him there so that other teams behind them wouldn't take him. 2, Christian Darrisaw. Vikings, they trade back. They get 2 third-round picks, and they get the guy I would have taken at 14 anyways. I had him as a 9th player on my board. So, again, a guy I had very high on my board, fill 14 spots. They get him at 23, great value, and they get 2 more picks tomorrow, which, in my opinion, super value. You love to see it. And then number 1, I mean, the Bears, we didn't really think was going to happen. We had other teams listed. They come up, they get Justin Fields, and in my opinion, their future looks very bright because they do have pieces on that roster. It just looked bleak when they didn't have any quarterback answer, but now they do, and they could be legitimately good this year if Fields works out in year 1.
All right, my 5th best pick tonight, Christian Darrisaw, Vikings at 23. Like you talked about, Nick, trading back and still getting the guy that you could have had at 14, I think is an awesome move. If I'm a Vikings fan, I'm stoked. 4, Rashad Bateman, Baltimore. He's been a scheme fit for us since August. He's been a team that we thought Baltimore should be targeting since August. And to get him at 27, obviously, I guess the NFL isn't as high as we are on Bateman, but I mean, I think he has some real good opportunities to be a heck of a player in his rookie year. Number 3, Greg Newsome, Cleveland, 26. I mean, they got a position of need. They need to figure out CB2. Greg Newsome is a guy who can come in year 1 and play right away. And that defense, CB2 maybe was the biggest hole remaining, honestly, after free agency. So Greg Newsome was an awesome pick, in my opinion, for the Browns. And then 2 and 1, Nick hit on it. I'm not going to spend too much longer on it. Sewell, Detroit, 7. Steal, man. Value. We put the term generational on Penei Sewell, at least I did. And to get him at 7, I think is crazy. Get Jared Goff some big offensive line piece. And then Justin Fields, Chicago, at 11, getting up to the 11th pick, moving up and getting their quarterback for the future. Such an upgrade over Mitchell Trubisky and Andy Dalton and Nick Foles, who are the current quarterbacks on the roster.
Both on the roster.
Yeah. So, Fields, Sewell, Newsome, Bateman, Darrisaw for me.
So I pretty much have similar lists to you guys, so I tried to change it up a little bit. 5, I'm going Elijah Vera Tucker to the Jets. I got to include it only because, I think he's the top 14 player in the class, my number 14 overall player, the 14th overall pick. A dire position of need for this Jets team, and I am happy that Joe Douglas cast in his assets for a guy that they had on the top 10 of their board. 21 picks over the next 2 years entering tonight. They can't all make the team. Go spend that capital on a guy you want. I think that was a very smart move by him. 4, Rashad Bateman, you two hit on it. Don't want to expand on it too much more. Perfect fit for that guy. Lamar Jackson, big winner for tonight. 3, Christian Darrisaw, trading back, getting a guy that they could have gotten at 14, should have gotten at 14, and you pick up 2 threes from the Jets, 66 and 86 in that. Great. 2, I'm going Trey Lance, my favorite player in the class, and just because it wasn't Mac Jones. Again, I said it on stream, I've said it this whole time. Trey Lance has the highest ceiling in this class for quarterbacks. Kyle Shanahan is the guy out of anybody that can get him there.
Yep.
And then number one is very obviously, very clearly Justin Fields. Good for Ryan Pace. Good for Matt Nagy. You are getting fired whether this works out or not, pretty much. So good on you for at least taking the shot.
All right, so number 5, I thought I was going to be the first original one with Trey Lance. I'm not. Trey Lance going 3 to the 49ers, exactly what PJ just said. I was terrified. I would have taken Justin Fields, which is why it's number 5, but I was terrified of Mac Jones. Trey Lance makes so much sense. If anyone is going to tap into that ridiculously high ceiling that he's got, is Kyle Shanahan. He's got the inside track, we'll see, of being maybe the best quarterback in this class. 4, Sewell to the Lions at 7. Again, awesome value. Dan Campbell, again, I was afraid of what he was going to do.
Yep.
He took a great player at 7 today. Sewell, right track. You're on the right foot. Number 3, Christian Darrisaw to the Vikings. Unbelievable value at 23. Trading back, getting the extra picks, and you're getting a guy that you could have even taken where they were originally. Awesome pick at 3. 2, Rashad Bateman to the Ravens again. We've penciled him in there when they had a top 20 pick. Then they moved down to 27, and they still got Rashad Bateman. Awesome pick. Number 1, I'm going to say it right now. I got to look back at past drafts. This might be my favorite pick ever. This might be the best value I've ever seen a team get in Justin Fields at 11. You took Trubisky 4 years ago over a guy like Deshaun Watson and Patrick Mahomes. You didn't do it this time with Mac Jones.
They weren't afraid. Teams get afraid. They mess up on a QB and they don't go for the QB, and they did it.
And they took him. They messed it up the first time. They took the right guy this time. If you're a Bears fan, you must be ecstatic right now. Obviously, those are great picks. A lot of them not so great. So Tate, start us off. Your 5-1 worst picks tonight.
Yeah, I'm sorry to start it off with this, but Najee Harris, Pittsburgh at 24. It's
not good.
We talked about it on the live stream. We're not huge fans of running backs in the first round anyways, and when you're the Pittsburgh Steelers with the roster you have, with the offensive line you have, the answer is not get another running back. It's just not the answer. You need an offensive line first.
It's never the answer, but it's certainly not in this
For
case.
Pittsburgh in this situation, in this circumstance, that's not the answer. That's my 5th worst pick tonight. 4, it's tough because I really like the player, but Pat Surtain at Denver 9. They brought in Fuller, they brought in Darby in free agency. They spent money on the position. Justin Fields was on the board at the time. It's just a weird pick for me. I really like Pat as a player. I think he's CB1 by far, by a good margin for me, but I just think the team decision at 9, I think, is weird. 3, Travis Etienne, Jaguars, 25.
It's not good.
Again, another thing we said on the live stream, man, like, if there's any team who should understand why drafting running back in the first round should not be the move, it should be them. James Robinson played so well for them last year, and apparently Urban Meyer is saying that Travis Etienne is just the 3rd down back.
First round, third
pick,
down back.
25 overall for
I've often said this.
For a 3rd down only running back. It's just bizarre. They have more needs. They got to get Trevor Lawrence some protection. They could even go more weapons. Pat Freiermuth we thought was an option. It was just a
really
weird pick.
interested to see where he goes tonight when you're watching this.
Absolutely. 2, I'm going Alex Leatherwood to the Raiders at 17, simply for the fact that he probably would have been there at 48. Maybe the Dolphins take him at 31, but I think he's there at 48. Just a weird pick. We said that it was going to be off the board. They went off the board. They went with Leatherwood.
It was.
And then my least favorite tonight, and it's the circumstances. Trading up you trade back to 12, you trade up to 6 for Jalen Waddle. I just don't know if it's worth it for Miami. He's a heck of a player. We all like him. I think
we all love him.
Yeah, we all love him.
Yeah.
He's a total burner, but just trading up from 12 to 6, giving up a first-round talent for Jalen Waddle, I just don't know, man.
Yeah.
Okay. Again, I want it to vary. I feel like a lot of us are going to have similar answers. 5, I'm going Pat Surtain too. I can't justify taking that secondary now for Denver is no fly zone. Yep. It's great. It's tremendous. Would have loved Justin Fields. That's only why. And Pat Surtain is a top 10 guy on all of our boards, number 8 overall player, I believe, for us on the consensus. And it's just got to take Justin Fields there. 4, I'm going Jamin Davis. This is, again, if anybody can get the most out of him, it's Ron Rivera, and I do believe that. I would have taken Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah. I think we all would have. Mm-hmm. I don't need to rub any more salt in Nick's wound there. 3, Peyton Turner to New Orleans, a guy I like enough, Not that high, but a good developmental edge, replacing Trey Hendrickson as a rotational guy, at least early on, you'd think. But there were other edges I prefer to him on the board, obviously. 2, Greg Rousseau. Can't do it. I just can't do it. I'm stunned he went in the first round. Everybody wanted to say this whole time about, look at the sack numbers, and you look past it, there's a lot of covered sacks. And then it's like, look at the potential, look at the frame. And he goes out, and he doesn't test well. He's not that great of an athlete. And it's like, I thought that was all enough. The downslope was all enough to push him out of the first round. I was very wrong. Buffalo, another well-coached team, place him on the interior. I think he's a good NFL player. I hate him as an edge. I think he's a 3 or 5 tech. A traditional edge is not his spot. And then 1, Alex Leatherwood. Gruden and Mayock literally never fail. They have to pick either guys who went to Clemson or Alabama because those are the only college football games they watch. And we've arrived.
Yeah, all right. So number 5 for me is going to be Joe Tryon. I had a 4th round grade on him. I just don't think he should be touching the first round at all.
I wanted to put him on, but it's not like they passed on anything of need because they don't need anything.
I mean, I agree, but I just think they could have gotten better players. Sure. I mean, look, you always need to be adding depth because guys fall out of this league like that. You know, I don't like it. There were many players that would have taken over Joe Tryon, including literally any of those other quarterbacks that we think might go in the 3rd round. Like, I would have rather seen Kyle Trask go here than Joe Tryon, and that would have been a bad pick too. So, 4, Pat Surtain. It just goes to show how bad some of these picks were, is that Pat Surtain's 4 for me because I love Surtain, and I think Denver's secondary is great, but look, if they draft Fields, they could be a Super Bowl contender this year.
Yep. And
they just decided that they're okay with Teddy Bridgewater and Drew Lock, which, they're just doing some 1980 style of football over there where they think they can win with,
they're trying.
They're
trying.
They're doing something, man.
Where's Jim McMahon when you need him? Najee Harris, 3rd.
Thanks, Nick.
Yeah, I mean, like, hit this nail over and over again, but the Steelers, they needed O-line help more than they need a running back, and the difference between a left tackle or any other offensive lineman in the first round and the 3rd round is a much bigger difference than the same thing with running backs. So I didn't like that. But even worse running back pick was ETN because the Jaguars should know that they shouldn't be drafting running backs this high.
No need.
They already have a good running back, and the other thing we haven't really mentioned is that they have a good running back, and he was good with a really kind of below average offensive line.
Yep.
So upgrade that O-line, maybe he could be even better, and just taking a guy who's going to play 1 out of 3 downs, and it's just terrible. And then number 1, I mean, the Raiders are just like they are like
they never fail.
They are going to be the worst team in the NFL in the next couple of years because they can't draft at all. And Alex Leatherwood, for me, was a late 3rd round pick, a guy you probably played guard with. And so this stems from a long offseason for them where they decided our biggest strength is our offensive line and we suck on defense. So let's cut our entire offensive line and try and rebuild it. And their answer for rebuilding was draft Alex Leatherwood, probably 70 picks too early. I just unbelievable, and I would feel terrible if I was a Raiders fan right now. I mean, there's no sunset at the end of anything.
There's literally nothing.
This
Spencer
is not
Rattler.
ending. 10 years
We'll
of
get to it next week. Spencer Rattler.
Yeah.
Look forward to that.
Poor Spencer
2022,
Rattler.
baby. Already looking ahead.
Poor Spencer Rattler, man.
Number 5 is tough, so I want to put Surtain on here. The only reason I'm not is because I really do believe he's going to be a superstar corner. I understand the Fields thing, awful. They're number 6 for me, trust me. The one I'm putting at number 5, and you guys might hate me for saying it, J.C. Horn at 8 to the Panthers. The combination, so I'm putting the combination of trading for Darnold earlier,
Which was stupid from the second it happened.
And then you take J.C. Horn, who I think is, PJ might disagree, I don't think he's close to Surtain.
Wrong.
I don't think he's close to Surtain. So that and the combination, you could have had Justin Fields.
Yeah, passing on Fields.
It's just like the combination of that was too much. For Najee Harris to the Steelers, Kevin Colbert, trade every first-round pick you ever have the rest of your tenure because you cannot draft in the first round. You take Jarvis Jones, you take Artie Burns, you take Bud Dupree, you take Terrell Edmonds, who was only there to see his little brother Tremaine get drafted, and all of a sudden he gets a phone call. He's like, "Oh, you mean Tremaine? No, buddy. We want to draft you." Kevin, you're
Took
awful.
TJ Watt.
You're awful. He did take TJ Watt. That was a good pick.
Draft edge rushers. Do that. Only that.
Keep doing that. Kevin, you're an awesome day 2, day 3. You find receivers that nobody else even looks at, and they're amazing. Trade every first-round pick and just get more picks on day 2 and 3. Because, my God, you don't know what the hell you're doing, man.
You're taking this personally.
Yeah, I'm
By the way, I would have liked to put the Jamin pick in here, but there actually were enough bad picks that I'm surprised I didn't actually
exactly.
get it in.
I don't have it in here either. Number 3, Alex Leatherwood to the Raiders, 17. And once again, Mike Mayock and John Gruden never fail to amaze me. Cleveland Farrell at 4, Damon Arnett, Henry Ruggs.
Whoa. Are we doing Damon Arnett slander right now?
Damon Arnett
Stop.
slander.
Oh, I didn't allow a touchdown.
Ruggs being wide receiver
Yes, he
1
did.
last year. And then
Not in college, he didn't.
Yeah.
And then Leatherwood,
right,
I think they
college,
take out the
of course.
All-American list. They look at it and say, "Oh, Alex
Same,
Leatherwood
like
won
the
the
first
Outland
snap
Show."
of the
Sean
NFL.
Wade tomorrow. Coming soon. Coming down the pipe.
Tomorrow. Congratulations. They'll make it all Ohio State secondary.
Today, actually. I
Ohio
think.
State.
Yeah.
The Ohio State.
The Ohio State. Alex
might do
Leatherwood,
that.
17, man. My God.
Bad
My
pick.
God. 2, Joe Tryon. It's here at 2 because Joe Tryon's really low. I have like a 5th round grade on him. But, at 32 the Bucks, I would have loved Christian Barmore. I think that would have been a slam dunk pick. So he's
And there were
number
other
2.
edge players. Like
There were.
there are. Like you
There
could
are
have taken
so many more that you could have
Ronnie
gotten.
Perkins.
Exactly. But number 1, Travis Etienne. You guys hit on it already. If there's any team that needs to understand the value of running backs, it's the Jaguars, and they still don't.
But Max, they played together.
They still
They're
don't-
friends.
Yeah, the chemistry on the handoff is going to be spectacular. You'll never see a fumbled handoff between Lawrence and Etienne, but that's all I can say for that pick. So, obviously, there are a lot of players that are on our board that are really, really good. So, PJ, give me your 5 best players available tonight on day 2.
All right, so we all have big boards. We're just running it from that. So number 5 at 28 overall, Trayvon Merrick. I didn't think he was going to go in the first round. I have first round grade on him. I was going to be surprised if a safety went tonight, and he did not. Sorry to Jaron May. 27, Sam Cosmi, same kind of thing. Another guy I would have been pleasantly surprised to go in the first round tonight. Such a dominant pass protector.
Snoozer
but
Sam, man.
Snoozer Sam. Such a dominant pass protector, run game questions, not really, might not be an athlete, kind of upright at 6'7".
Nice athlete.
I know he's an athlete, but he doesn't play like it. And then 23, Christian Barmore. Another guy I'm not surprised that didn't go tonight, but I think he's a first-round player. And then 19, Azeez Ojulari, who has this leg thing that came out after we finalized our board, so that's probably why he didn't get selected tonight. Then 18, I think our number 1 player, except for Max, the other 3 of us, it's Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah. I mean, why? How? Inexplicable, really, is the only word I have for it.
Yeah, it's shocking to say the least. So I'll give you 6. Azeez Ojulari is here. He's 21 on my board, but that was before the leg thing came out. So I guess 6, 28 on my board is Tevin Jenkins. Not really shocked. I thought the Raiders might go for him.
The Ravens might. Well, they have.
Yeah, there was some later round interest. I don't know. I am surprised he made it out of the first round. I thought he would have been them. There's honestly, there was less tackles taken than I would have expected. I thought Sam Cosmi, who I'll get to in a second, was almost a lock for the first round, but here we are. Then Azeez at 21, then Trayvon Moore at 20. I should have taken the under on 0.5 safeties taken in the first round. It just seemed like kind of a long shot and like some things needed to go right, but
There were only so many spots that he could have
Yeah,
gone.
it was
very limited. It was like the
tough.
Jags at
It was
25.
It was tough finding a spot. It was like Barmore, really.
Yeah. So not shocked, but he is there. And honestly, the Jaguars with the first pick in the second round, please take him. Correct your wrongs. Right your wrongs. 19 on my board is Samuel Cosmi, who I just hit on. Would have thought he would have been a lock for the first round. Heck of a pass blocker, like PJ mentioned, but here he is, still on the board. Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah, 16 on my board, still here. I think it's the size thing. I think some teams maybe don't think he can be a full-time safety or a full-time linebacker. I think he is too much of an in-between guy. And then Christian Barmore, 15. I agree. Maybe the Bucks at the last spot were the team to take him. Maybe the Jaguars at 25, but it just, again, it's another, teams are drafting for needs in this draft, and there just was no spot for him to squeeze into the first round, and I think he'll be an early second-round pick if I had to put money on it.
Yeah, so I'll also give 6 because Azeez was my 5th at 27, but the leg thing, he might not go second round. We don't really know where he's going.
Who knows where he goes?
So my number 5 was Liam Eichenberg, number 28 overall, who's a tackle that I am higher on than most of you guys, but
He's solid.
I understand why he didn't go
Polished.
today. People were lower on him. Rondale, the same thing for me on number 24 overall. But I will be shocked if he goes later tomorrow, and I think Washington at 51 is my dream, but He shouldn't be there. He shouldn't. Like he
shouldn't be.
He should go much earlier than that. And if he continues to slide, I will be shocked by that. I didn't think he was gonna go today, but I think he should go early tomorrow. And if he doesn't, that'll be concerning for me with these front offices. Barmore 18th overall. Again, not shocked that this guy's not. That we had heard some things he would slide out today. Just not many fits. Positional value not great. I think he'll go earlier tomorrow, just because I think he is DT1 on most people's boards. Trayvon Morig 16th overall for me, number 2 player. A little bit shocked he fell out. I really thought somebody would fall in love with a safety that can really go all over the field. I thought his coverage ability would be valued by somebody, and apparently no one really wanted him.
Nope.
I don't really have an explanation for that other than that. And then Jeremiah Wusu-Koramoah, my 15th player overall. I think we're falling into the whole Levante David, Devin White discussion again. Guys like Jamin Davis get drafted because you see the athletic traits like you see in Devin White, and they pop out on Tate, and people think those players are better. But what actually matters is Levante David covering Travis Kelce in the Super Bowl. And I want the guy who can cover, who's Jeremiah Wusu-Koramoah.
Yeah.
The league doesn't see that for some reason. He falls out of the first round, which I'm just shocked by.
So, yeah, I want to give 6 to Trayvon Merrick, number 28 overall on my board. Again, it was tough finding a spot for him in this draft. I agree with Nick. I thought he was going to go first round, but he didn't. He'll be a high second-round pick, though. Number 5, a guy you guys haven't mentioned yet, who I love, Levi Wuzurike, number 27 overall. He's got amazing get-off. Again, I didn't expect him to go in the first round because even Barmore, I was iffy on that because I didn't know where the spot was. Definitely were not spots for 2D tackles.
No.
So 27 overall on my board. Still think he's really good. 4, another guy I love, Javon Holland, 19. Yep. I think he's a superstar safety. I think he's maybe the best coverage safety. He can play slot corner, free safety, anywhere you want besides box, really. So top 25 on my board. 3, Azeez Ojulari. Again, edge 1 for me, 17th overall, but asterisk because
the medicals.
Exactly.
We just don't know the extent.
We finalized this beforehand, so we have no idea. So wherever he goes, that would be indicative of the medicals because really the tape is outstanding. 2, Sam Cosmi, number 12 overall on my board. I think he might be the best pass rusher in the entire draft. Scored in the 99.9th percentile for athleticism score. I think he's really good. And the fact that he fell out of the first round, if the Jaguars can take him at 33, and that will make the ETN pick more digestible for me. And then number 1, Christian Barmore, number 11 on my board. This guy's a stud, man. And I get it. I didn't think there was a spot for him in the first round, but at the same time, I think he's one of the best pass rushers in this entire draft, D tackle or edge. And the fact that he didn't go in the first round, someone's going to get a steal in the second round for him. So those are our best available players for tonight. Day 2 of the draft will be live on YouTube again, 6:30 tonight.
Eastern time.
To
all of our Duncan, Chris, hello.
Yes.
We appreciate you.
Good morning, good night.
Good morning, good night. Thanks for tuning in.
6:30 Eastern time tonight. Make sure you guys tune in for that. Follow our Twitter, Instagram, TikTok at Boomer Bust Draft. Merch store. Go purchase some stuff too. We got
Get
some
your merch
sweatshirts behind us as well. So thank you guys again for tuning in. We had a whale of a time, and tonight should be a lot of fun too. So tune in for that. So for Peter Clark, Tate, Sigworth, Nick Merriam, I'm Max Chadwick. Have a great night.
Adios. See you later.
We get to go to bed.